Red light.
Green light.
Red light.
Red light, green light.
Okay, we'll first start with questions about Squid Game.
Okay.
The first question is, Squid Game was the biggest project that I have ever done. It was difficult to perform with the fancy mask on my face.
It wasn't?
Difficult. It was different. I'd say different.
Huh.
Well, the walking down the steps was hard.
Really? I feel like I need to challenge every single one of his answers now. Okay.
I was surprised to see the huge set on Squid Game.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't finish watching Squid Game. Next question is about foreign actor. Living as a foreign actor. It took me hours to create audition tape for Squid Game. I came to Korea to become an actor.
Red light, green light.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing is the hugeness of the success is definitely the biggest ever.
Yeah.
So I've worked on a few of those that were really giant and crazy, and Seung-hyun was pretty crazy.
It's hard to measure the size.
Yeah.
Then what would be the most meaningful project that you ever done?
Once again, this is like a double thing, like meaningful in what effect it's had on my life and may have on my life going forward. Without a doubt, it's Squid Game. But I did a drama called Nolul Salanghan Spy, The Spies Who Loved Me, on NBC with, and I worked with Kim Tae-woo. So meaningful-wise, probably that in terms of being an actor. There's a sense of ownership, a feeling of being in control, which you normally don't get, especially as a foreign actor here. But for what the success might have, it would definitely be Squid Game.
Yeah, although it's tough to measure big, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it became very big, but before that, I've acted with celebrities. Like I had a scene alone with Megan Fox, that was pretty big for me.
Yeah.
And before, I mean, Squid Game, the set and the lines and everything were larger than I was, than I've had usually, but I didn't expect it to be as huge as it ended up being.
Red light, green light.
Of making the mask? Yeah, they took us to an effects cruise, base and compound, and we were given a skull cap to protect our hair and draped in a long flowing plastic apron. So it ended up like it was like 10 pounds of material on the head at the end. And then that was cut off, and then it left an impression of our face, and then I believe they created a mold out of that, and then filled the mold so that they had a perfect replication of our skulls, which they then used to make the masks. And that was the point where I was like, this might be a little bit more involved than my typical job.
The mask completely covered my nose, so it was like this. And the whole time I sound like a cold. I have a cold the whole time. But the first day of shooting, I couldn't breathe through my nose. So our first take is they open up the elevator doors and I walk out, and then I have the first line. And so I walk out, I wait for him to say his line, and then I say my line. But I have to hold my breath the whole time because I don't want to open my mouth because it's going to not look powerful if I'm, So I'm just walking with my mouth closed and holding my breath the whole time, and finally and I say my line. So it was a bit awkward, yeah.
But I think the only really tough part that I felt with the mask was walking down those steps. When there's a scene when we're walking down the steps, it's safe to say every single one of us are terrified in that scene because we had just gotten there. The steps were super slippery. Our shoes were super slippery. We couldn't look down. We had to keep our heads straight, and the stairs are super tall, at least
Really
two
steep.
flights. And we're all just walking real slow. We don't want to fall and break our back.
They taped sandpaper to the bottom of our shoes to keep us from slipping.
And that was coming off during takes.
So there's like a lot of different things you're juggling, but like also like the masks are really deep, so you don't have binary vision. You can only see with one eye at a time, so there's no depth perception. First thing we have to do is go and pick up our champagne. and trying to figure out where the champagne is. You know?
We don't want to knock them all over.
So.
Did you guys get to keep the mask?
No.
No. Oh.
For sure not.
But it only fits you though.
Yeah,
Well,
right?
that's a better reason. All the more reason why we hope they bring us back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Red light, green light.
And I think I took maybe 20 minutes on that. I just sat on the couch with a bag of nuts that I was eating and spilling all over myself, and just I was being like just a horrible, horrible person. Like, these are great games. And then, you know, being a real sleazeball, my wife was holding the camera as if she was the waiter and looking up at me. I'm like, yeah, you got a pretty mouth, and then took it from there. And I really nailed that one, I think. But I wasn't expecting to get it either, because the script says he removes his robe and reveals his disgusting old flabby body. And no, I mean, I'm not that vain, but I know I don't have a flabby body, and it's not old. And I was like, there's no way I'm getting this part.
Red light, green light.
I just got divorced and depressed, and my friend was like, you're teaching foreign language anyways, come out to Korea to teach. And I came out here to teach, and it was mostly babysitting. And so as I was thinking about leaving Korea, I ended up folding my teaching career and starting doing voice acting, mostly for education. But then the voice acting started to grow, and then through that, I got a major role on a TV show here, because I think before that, it was mostly just hiring models. So that was my first big role, and then it kind of snowballed from there.
I had a 1-week job, and as a videographer, and then I was to go to Hong Kong, and for 2 weeks, and then I was going to go back to America. I had never been to Asia, so on my flight over here, the job canceled. And I don't know, several months later, I ended up in this tiny little apartment, Itaewon, near Gyeongnidan. And there was a restaurant there that opened up early enough for me to go get coffee, because I'm an American. I wake up really early. I like to do the early morning drinking coffee. And there was one place that opened up early, and I went there, and there was a waitress there that I became friends with, and then I fell in love with, and now I'm married to.
The kids were like, you have to have a Korean name, so I picked Duke Baek-lee as my Korean name.
But I was thinking of making my Korean name Joon-di Ma.